So about 2 months ago, we started a podcast show called Don't Be Sour, and today I'm going to break down how we produce the podcast. Let's go. So first up, we have the seating area. If a guest comes with friends, this is where we sit them down. And if you look on the wall here, you can see there's some sound panels, and those don't just look pretty. They actually do serve a purpose. And on the ceiling here, we have even more sound panels to kind of help with the sound dampening. But these wall panels here were the biggest thing that tied the room together when it came to improving the acoustics of the room. Now, aside from the acoustic panels on the wall and on the ceilings, we have this slatted, oh, it's falling. We have this slatted wall here with some foam backing that kind of helps. It's not very thick, so it doesn't do much, but this whole wall is covered, so I think it does a lot more than I think, but this is what it looks like. And it goes all the way down. And coming over to this side of the room where the magic happens, we have, oh, this is a 4x8 or 8x4, whichever way the numbers go, table. We have a 6 sign of the show's logo on the wall there. And some comfy chairs. Okay, now for the third section, which is probably the more fun section of the podcast room here. On the show, the guests and the hosts take shots. And so we have a growing collection of all these drinks. I don't know how big it's gonna get. We're probably gonna need a separate cart for it. But this is the current collection right now. After every episode, we take Polaroids with the guests and have them sign it for memories. We do have a few extra microphones and headphones here, and I'll explain why we have them sitting here instead of on the table in this next part, the technical side of things. See, this setup is a plug and play setup. So I have all the wiring ran under the table here, and they just trail off over to mic 1, mic 2 back there, mic 3, and mic 4. Because when there's more than one guest on the show, we plug and play, hence the name Plug and Play. Now, onto the gear. Not that kind of gear. Let's start with audio. For the soundboard, we have the Rodecaster Pro, and it's on a keyboard tray that slides in and out, so we can tuck it away, out of sight, out of mind. And if we need to use it, pull it out, and ready to go. We have 4 Shure SM7B microphones and 4 Audio-Technica ATH M50X headphones. To couple with the microphones, we have 4 cloud lifters to help with the gain, and they're stuck under the table with Velcros behind the table leg here to be out of sight. And now we move on to lights. I have it controlling on the phone app here, so that's how I was able to do this thing. We have a 5 light setup, 2 key lights, 1 on the guest, 1 on the host, 1 overhead light, and then 2 ceiling mounted hair lights. And for our lights, we are using the Amran 100Ds. Super affordable lights, super good quality, and comes with an app like you saw. So 3 of the lights have softboxes. We have the Aperture Light Dome Mini 2s. The key lights have the grid on them, and then the overhead, just a softbox. For the hair light, just a cone, and it just kind of gives you this nice hair light. Before recording, we shut all the shades down and turn the lights off in the rest of the office, and then turn the room lights off. The podcast room is ready to go. For visuals, we have 1, 2, 3. There's supposed to be another camera here, but we have 3 A7S IIIs for visuals. So the 3 cameras that we have, the center one is our wide angle shot looking down the barrel. And our 2 cameras set up on each side of the table, those are our individual angles of the host and the guest. And for the individual angle cameras, we're using 24-70 lenses set to 50mm. And for the center angle, we're using a 16-35 wide angle lens to get the whole action. That's all the equipment that we use for the podcast production. And the one thing that I'm most proud of is honestly the wiring and how I have it set up here. It's not the most organized thing, but I know where everything's at, and it's plug and play, so we're having a good time. Now, before we dive into post-production, this is what the final product looks like using all the equipment that we went over. So this is what it looks like. We have the guest, the host, and the center angle. Hey guys, my name is Oz. I'm a content creator. Dude, what are you doing? Introducing myself? Yeah, but you know we're not filming a full episode right now, right? But we could. Yeah, I'd say me 10 years from now. What? Oh, I, 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 what? I thought you asked me who my hero was. What the f*** are you saying? Jack?
definitely could have fit on that door. Good point, but I'm trying to film a video here.
I definitely wouldn't let Elmo tickle me.
Please stop.
I'm vengeance.
Joseph. Joseph. Okay. Sorry. Are you done? Yeah. Now that we got all the equipment out of the way, we're gonna dive right into post-production. I have my clips and my audio layers lined up and synced on my timeline here. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the volume levels on my audio. So we're gonna play through and then raise it up until it hits around -6 to -3 decibels. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste the audio level onto my second layer. Now when it comes to audio processing, I have dynamics here, and when you go to edit, you can see that I have a limiter set to -6 decibels so that it does not go above -6 decibels and go to peak. It is not a good time for your viewers or their eardrums. Underneath dynamics here, I have the mastering effect, and if you go to edit, I just did the subtle clarity and adjusted a couple of parameters, and that's pretty much it. And you get a nice clean audio. I'm not an audio engineer, so if there's any tips that you guys have, if you're good and savvy with audio, please let me know. But this is the best that I've got. From here, we're gonna move on to the visuals. So I have all 3 cameras synced up, and on layer 1, I have the camera angle of the guest. Layer 2, I have the host, and layer 3, I have the wide angle. At first, when I was editing this podcast, I was going in and cutting these clips individually, but I found a trick that makes your life a lot easier when it comes to cutting between multiple cameras. So what you're gonna go ahead and do is highlight all 3 of your clips, right click, and nest. Once you have your clips nested, you're gonna go ahead and right click, go over to Multicam and enable Multicam. And then from here, you're gonna go onto this little wrench icon here, and then click Multicam. This is going to bring your main view to a multicam view so you can see all your angles and then the active angle. Now, as you're playing through your sequence, you can click numbers 1, 2, and 3 to switch between cameras 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to go ahead and switch to camera 2 to the host just by a click of a button, and then we're going to switch over to camera 3, which is the wide angle, and back to 1. Now when you try to do this on the D-pad numbers of your keyboard, it doesn't work, so you have to use the numbers at the top. But this has been the single best thing that I've done that's sped up my workflow by so much. Once you've cut up all your angles, what we're going to go ahead and do is grab an adjustment layer and make sure to cover all your footage. Then I'm going to go ahead and come over to my presets and throw on my color grade for the podcast. And we're going to turn that down to about 70%. That looks good. And then voila, you have your podcast cut up, color graded, and audio processed. Then you can come back to your composite view and you just see your cuts without the multiple camera angles. Now from here, I make the thumbnail and upload the video onto YouTube along with the said thumbnail for you guys to enjoy. If you haven't checked out Don't Be Sour, please do. Links will be in the bio. Our intros are very funny and we're very proud of them. And the entire podcast is just very entertaining. So if you've been looking for a new podcast, make sure to check it out. I hope that this video was helpful. If there was anything that I missed or anything more that you guys have questions about, please let me know. Shoot me a DM at Oztography. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.